Alright, hello, we are here in Kerbal Space Program. This is a tutorial for a friend of mine, Payton. I know you're there, bro. Because I'm going to send this video to you right after I do it. So, this is going to be a tutorial on maneuver nodes. Basically, everything you need to know. Okay. So, I'm not sure how you do it on Xbox, but you're going to want to get into the habit of quick saving when you're on these types of missions. Because sometimes Kerbal Space Program can be very finicky. So first, we're just going to remove our maneuver node, just for a little example. So right now, I want to get to minimus, okay? Or minmus. So we're gonna want to set a maneuver node. Well, first, what you really want to do is you want to go to it and you want to press set target. Now I've already done that, and its orbit will become blue. Its orbit trajectory, and whenever you do a maneuver node, whenever you have a targeted celestial body, it will show you the closest the body's closest your closest approach to that body. Okay. So as you can see, that would be my closest approach. Okay. So we just have to get realistically these two nodes as close as possible. So instead of just enabling, and oh, that's the mun encounter. Nah, we don't want a mun encounter. Oh, and there is our minimus encounter. Okay, so as you can see, it's gonna take about 895 meters per second of delta V. So, and then we want to start doing some calculations. So we can see that our burn time is so our burn time is about 2 minutes and 33 seconds. So 2 minutes 33 seconds. So that's our burn time. So typically, you'll want to get into the habit of dividing your burn time. So divide it by 2. So that would be about 1 minute 16.5 seconds. But since it's a 0.5, we're just going to round it up to 17. So realistically, you want to start burning at around 1 minute 17 seconds. And then once you do that, once you burn long enough, you should be on a trajectory for minimus. So let's go ahead and test that out. So we're going to wait for 1 minute 17 seconds. We're gonna, oh no, we're gonna warp here. Okay, so we're gonna want to point towards our maneuver. All right, and then when node in T minus is a minute 17 seconds, we'll start our burn. And then hopefully, if I've done everything correctly, we should be on a trajectory to intercept minimus. And burn. So you won't start to notice anything too drastic, right, instantly. But if you let it burn for long enough, you'll eventually start to see that your apoapsis will start to rise, and eventually you'll go. But if you look at this, minimus escape. We don't want to escape. We want to land on minimus. So what we're gonna do is, by the time we reach here, because this will be when we're in its sphere of influence. Sphere of influence is basically just when basically when you're just passing. And we want to get into a circular orbit around minimus. So what we're gonna do is we're going to, while we're here, we're gonna burn retrograde, and we're gonna see our trajectory change a lot. It's really confusing, but if you just keep burning retrograde, then you'll start to see that you'll start to get into a circular orbit around minimus. Out of the two moons, I'd probably recommend doing Out of the 2 moons, because I know you haven't landed on any celestial bodies, so this is just like to help. You already know how to get into low Kerban orbit, so I don't need to help you with that. I'd recommend probably generally just doing Minimus, because although it's farther and requires more delta V, it's really easy to land. The Mun, it's hard to land. It's not as forgiving. But as long as you pack enough delta V with Minimus, you should be fine. You just need to pack a bunch of delta V, okay? And now we're out of liquid fuel, so we're gonna switch to our second stage. And as you can see, we have a crap ton of fuel for this stage. That's because Minimus, very far, so this engine's gonna be doing a lot. It's going to get us to Minimus, like get us to its sphere of influence. Then it's going to be getting us into orbit of Minimus, and then it's also going to help us land, and then it's going to help us get out of Minimus' sphere of influence, get us back into Kerban orbit. Yeah. So this engine needs a lot of delta V, and what I've done for that is I don't use the big fuel tank, or I did. I used the big fuel tank, but what I also did is I took a bunch of these smaller fuel tanks, these external tanks, and, okay, yep, you can see our, alright, and, bam, now we have a Minimus encounter. So we're going to quick save. You want to get into the habit of quick saving, believe you me. Alright, now we're just going to time warp. Be careful messing around with time warp, because it's very, very, very potent. Okay, so we have a little bit less time than I had anticipated, but, okay. Now, since we have Bob in here, Bob is not a pilot, we cannot create maneuver nodes because we're out of range of the Kerbal Space Center. So that's kind of bad, but generally, what you want to do is you typically just want to burn retrograde. That's 90% of the time will get you into a circular orbit. So let's try it, see how it goes. Okay, yep, and here's what I talked about. Here's you'd expect for this to be going down, but it's not at the moment, so kind of confusing, but if you give it time, you will start to see alright, you will start to see your apoapsis, or you will start to see that you'll get into a circular Minimus orbit. Yep, you can see it's starting to curve now. Yep, and bam, we are in a circular Minimus orbit. Alright, this has been basic orbital mechanics with the one, the only, Samuel Munoz. And I hope this helps you, Payton.